Hi guys, and welcome back to the Black Consciousness Movement channel. And this video today is going to go partly from the video that we have on our dating channel, which is obviously single, married, separated, divorced, and single again, and married again. So yeah, but this channel is obviously not that like the same channel. This one is the Black Consciousness Movement channel, and I don't know whether on this channel, because I have 4 channels, so I have to always kind of, if there's news on that can actually be like kind of applicable to all the channels, then I have to kind of introduce it or channel by channel. So I wanted to say that on this channel we talk about mainly our Black consciousness and just creating awareness of what's going on in the world, based on like what is racism and how I think it has been misunderstood or made to be misunderstood in that sense. And also sometimes I bring some news and so on, just to, because I have 4 channels and none of the other channels fit me to actually put news on. And I realized that creating awareness means that you have to kind of share, even though I'm not a journalist, I'm not like, but I can share the links so that you can go to those channels. But I think the news for today is that I am, like on my other channel, obviously I talk about dating, like going to ready to date, and going out of your way to just allow God to minister to you when it's the right time and all those things. So I just wanted to say I am married. I would say that the man of my dreams have found me, or should I say I found him, whichever way. But that's just news for you as a person who listened to me and so on. It's just something that I thought, why can I put it there? But anyway, today we are going to talk about I think the guy, as I said, that I probably will put the link of my other channel here, where I talk like kind of more about it, because on this channel it's just a comparison that I made with that and the black and white kind of differences and so on. Now, although that comparison is not based on the cruelty of what black people went through under the oppression of the white people, it has nothing to do with that. Because okay, so let me start with a comparison. So I come to realize that what's going on with like the feminist movement, for example, the differences or the unequal, should I say, differences between females and male, or men and women and so on, I think it's the same way with black and white. This is the thing. So black people has gone through hell under the cruelty of white oppression in the past, and women have gone through cruelty under the oppression of men. Black women obviously twice, because not only as women but as black women. Now, as I said, I'm not comparing the cruelty in that sense, because you cannot compare the oppression of colonizers, the hell that black people in general has gone through under the colonizers cannot be compared to what women gone through under men. To a certain level, yes, women has been raped, they have been just like really used and so on. However, it's not the same category. We can't place it under the same category. However, this is my point. My point is that what I now begin to see as I'm getting to know, like I said, as I usually mention, that 10% of the white population is those people that think they're superior towards other, not only black people even, but just like in general as a race above everybody else and so on. And 90% of the white population are amazing people who, even if maybe some of them are under the influence of thinking that, okay, they are higher than others and so on, they are not necessarily in control of making decisions and so on. And I actually always say that the racist, and that's why I'm saying racism is either misunderstood or on purpose put it that way so that we can always have this thing of like, oh no, I have a black friend, I'm not racist, because now we think racism is when you say something wrong to someone or when you treat somebody this way or whatever. Although that's important, that's treatment, but I'm only emphasizing that really the systematic racism is what really is a concern to black people, because it determines whether you will get the right job, your child will be chosen for basketball, and all those things, right? That's what bothers black people. Now, going back to the point, my point is this. So we have women went through hell who are now judging every single man out there, even the good men, that, okay, they're gonna do this, they're gonna do this, they're gonna do this. So we have men that are placed in a position that is now difficult because they can really. So this is the other thing too that I've seen. So masculinity is actually mistaken for toxic masculinity. So we have, like for example, a healthy masculine man is now mistaken for what we call, or what's called, toxic masculinity, meaning that a man cannot be a man anymore because otherwise they are toxic or they are narcissistic. Like, this is the thing, men and women have different characteristics in them just by being female or male, okay? And I'm not talking about house chores, okay? Because those are things that we can make up to say that, okay, I'm gonna do this, sweetheart, because I'm better at that, and you're gonna do this, okay? And I know this is a Black Consciousness Movement channel, and you're gonna think, what has that to do with it? You're gonna hear where I'm coming from, really. So because of that now, for example, a man can hardly, and I think I'm proud of, I've traveled to African countries like Western Africa, even Zimbabwe, and I love the masculine, like the masculinity in the men there, because a man can come to you and say, oh my God, you're beautiful, I can see you don't have a ring, can I have your number, can I get to know you? But in the Western world, men, it's not that men don't want to be men anymore. Men are afraid. It's almost like men has to be feminine, like the feminine energy has to come out more. And it doesn't mean that every single person has like both the energy. It doesn't mean that, like for example, I love a man who's in touch with his feelings. I love it when me and my husband are talking about something sensitive and he's just very emotional. I could see that he has tears in his eyes, and that's a feminine part, because and that's because we are regarded as women cry more and so on. But it's okay for men to cry, it's okay for men to show their feminine energy as well, but that's not all. They need to be masculine. I want it. I love it when my husband, when I talk to him as I'm bald, and sometimes I'm over the limit, but I love it when my husband can put his foot down and just in his very strong voice, no shouting, just a very strong masculine voice, and say this. And in my heart I'm like, okay, Jehovah, you need to, like, you're working on eggshells now, be careful. That's nice. I think that's where we are missing the point. Women want that, okay? But now, because of what happened in the past, a man can be that without being called toxic. That's a problem. Now flip it on the other side, between white and black. It might not be the exact same example, but this is the thing. What I found, especially in Canada, is that people are very kind. And because of that, because we need to differentiate between racism, because people can be rude. A person can be rude. They are just plainly rude. They are not racist. So the thing for me that I begin to see now is that rudeness is actually mistaken for racism based on the fact that it's coming from the person with a different color. This is what I mean. So you can be in a communication, like in an argument with a white person, and because they say, and I'm not talking about saying the N-word, which is obviously different. They say things like, oh no, whatever, you don't belong here and so on, and all of a sudden you think they're racist. But I have heard black people saying the same thing. I've heard especially people from Jamaica. There's this thing that people from Jamaica don't really like African, and I think it's coming. I know one Jamaican explained to me that it's coming from the fact that they think we sold them, or our forefathers sold them like 400 years ago, which is obviously I had no clue about, but now you hate me and you don't like me and so on. So they can easily say, go where you are from. But if it was a white person, I would easily say they are racist. But what if it's a Jamaican? Are they racist too? Or they are not racist because they are black? So this is what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is the same way men are being judged because of what happened in the past, and now we have movements who are equally very good. Like, I don't have a problem with the feminist movement. We fight for equal rights when it comes to, like, we have all to, like, women were not voting in the past, now we vote and so on. And obviously that's very good. But now we go the extra mile, because now there is, like, it's almost like we are going to reverse it. Now men has to be under us because of what they did. And I feel like when it comes to the racism and so on, we are almost doing the same thing. What we now say is that it's almost like, I always say that I don't want to feel uncomfortable talking about race in the presence of a white person. They have to feel comfortable. It's okay, like, I'm not talking about them, But at the same time, they are not the one who did whatever, right? And knowing that, they don't have to feel uncomfortable, but at the same time, I'm not going to put whatever their forefathers did on them unless they want to repeat it. Now, there's a difference, and that's why I'm saying that, when you're in a conversation with someone, it's easy to start saying that, okay, that person is saying that because of, them being white and they are being racist. Yet they're saying that because maybe they're just rude. They're just a bad person. Because so people can be bad on both sides, I'm a very vocal person. I speak for my rights. Recently, I went to Service Canada. I was on the line because I was applying for my health card and so on. And then here comes somebody from somewhere out of the blue. And she just went and talked to some lady, and then all of a sudden that lady called her, and I'm standing somewhere there, and I'm coming from there. And I'm not fighting only for me, because there's white people in that line, there's black people in that line, there's Asian, there's everybody. And I think because she can speak English very well, in that sense she could, because she hear a lot of things, she was thinking she's going to have to take advantage. So I came from there. I said, no, why are you helping her? Why are you allowing her? You are even nicely calling her that she should come just because she talked to you in the corner, and now you have to help her. What about the other people? And another black woman came out and said, take it easy, don't worry. I'm like, yes, I understand. And then she stood there, and then all of a sudden when the other lady called someone, she went. I actually left this table. I went there. I said, you're not going to help this lady. She is not, why is she entitled? Because she's what? Why does she deserve to be helped first if she's... And then all of a sudden, now it was getting attention, because the thing is, they didn't know that she was not in the queue. If somebody stand there and all of a sudden the cashier wouldn't know, except for this specific cashier who was really looking like her. And I'm like, are you helping her because you guys look alike or what? So for me, that vocality has nothing. It could have been a black person. I would have done the exact same thing, and I've done that before. And the person who was next was white. So for me, I'm not about it's a black person, it's a white person. It's about who is right. I've learned that from a pastor, Fatola. It's even applicable in a marriage. In a marriage, it's not about who is right and who's wrong. It's about what is the right thing. The right thing, whether that's coming from the wife or from the man, whether that's coming from a white person or a black person. What is the right thing? Who is right in that capacity, right? So based on that, what I want to say is this. That's the thing, the creation of things. And this is what I'm saying. Racism exists. It hasn't stopped. It's probably not even going to stop until Jesus Christ comes back. But also what I'm also learning is that rudeness can be mistaken for racism, and sometimes over-friendliness, because Canada is it has such friendly people, can be mistaken for not being racist, right? But Canada, as we found, has a lot of history with racism that we don't even want to talk about. It's something that I said we're going to discuss on this channel, not to kind of throw Canada under the bus, because they have some good things, but just to create awareness so that we know what we are dealing with, okay? But for now, what I wanted to say is that the thing that happened in the past to women, now it's like, okay, all the men are the same, they are bad, unfaithful dogs, they want to make us slaves and all that. And that is the exact same thing that I'm seeing when it comes to like the the differences between white and black. I'm telling you right now, I have been with white people who are amazing, honestly speaking. Let me be honest, I think I always say this, in Canada, 90% of people who treated me with so much love, going the extra mile, even during my son hospitalization, because my older son has been like, had a history of a lot of medical conditions and so on, and I found myself being in hospital most of the time. And honestly speaking, 90% of people who treated me with dignity and all that have been white people. And 90% of people who treated my son wrongly has actually, unfortunately, been black people. Now, if I flip that, I would say that if the 90% who treated my son badly were white, I would have said they were racist. But now I realize sometimes it has nothing to do with they are racist. Sometimes people are just rude, people are mean, people are bad. They can be your race. That's why I'm trying to fix or to take the attention off like the racism way, oh no, I'm not racist because I'm dating a black man, or all those narratives. It's not about that. The racism that we are so worried about is the systematic racism, which is why I'm saying that when we look at that representation of that man from Guinea, represent the judgment on men, mostly without making the woman guilty at that time. And it's the same when I say that there is a lot of white people who are very good people, who really want to work just for the community, who wants to work well with other people, but because we judge them all based on the 10% who are the elites, who just want to create that anger between us so that we don't get along, so that we are confused about who to vote for. And you know what? I am happy that Trump is the president. And no matter whether somebody say, oh no, Trump is racist, who is not racist? Between Kamala Harris is not racist, pretending to be a black woman. Now Candace has proven that she's not really that black. She has something where she say, make Kamala Indian again. But I'm not going to talk about that. I don't have any personal problem with Kamala. But the problem is that even, when you look at the other, it's only because Trump is sincere and open with it. If he doesn't like you, if he does this, he say it out. The other people are not that as if they love black people. No. They just don't show it out. They are professional. Their wishes, they are playing the part of the elites, where I say that somebody can call you an N-word on the streets, but they cannot determine whether you get the job or not. But the people who are in power, who can determine for you to get a job, will not call you an N-word. But they are just professional about it. They are just diplomatic, okay? So stop being deceived. So with that, I think I wanted to create that kind of difference between what's going on when it comes to men and women and black and white and all those narratives that are created by the elites. Obviously, this whole thing is just from above. When I say above, I don't mean God. The elites who are controlling this world, trying to make us miserable. Anyway, we are coming to the end of it, so please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share this video, guys. Come on, create awareness. So from me, Jehovah, take care and bye.